from the beginning. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
I'm joined now by Congresswoman Nanette Barragán of California. She sits on the House Homeland Security Committee, just returned from her trip to the border in El Paso, Texas. Not her first trip to the border. What is your reaction to what happened today and what it augurs for what this administration is about to try to do?
Well, I think it shows how much chaos is going on in the Department of Homeland Security, how disorganized and how chaotic it is. My concern is certainly what is to come. I was just at the border, as you mentioned, this weekend, and what I saw down there was heartbreaking. We saw photos of families being held under this bridge, and everybody thought the problem was fixed. That's not the case. What I saw there were families were simply moved to another location. They have 3 tents instead of 1, but you still have 4-month-old children living outside in these tents with the same clothes for days on end. It's completely unacceptable.
Well, here's the argument that the administration makes, and not just the administration. I'd like you to respond to it, which is basically, we do not have the present systematic capacity to process the number of families, particularly with small children, we have. We have a system that was designed to essentially apprehend and process single men who are attempting to cross without authorization. We're now getting families and asylum applications. We need to do something. What do you say?
Well, Congress just allocated $415 million in humanitarian relief. And I don't know where that money has gone. I certainly didn't see it in action down there at the border this weekend. And that's a question we need to ask and making sure that we follow up on, because we've given them money. And look, we're in the United States of America. They need to find a way to humanely treat people at the border, and that's the bottom line.
Do you? I want to read you something, some reporting about Stephen Miller's role in all this. That he has recently been telephoning mid-level officials at several federal departments and agencies to angrily demand they do more to stem the flow of immigrants into the country, according to 2 people familiar with the calls. His calls to several officials have sometimes included discussions about poor work performance among colleagues, according to a source briefed on one such conversation. How much do you think he's driving this, and what does it mean if he is?
Well, I think it means that we're in for a big fight to come. I think it means that Congress has to continue to have oversight hearings, and we have to keep up the fight, because if he's leading this, and that is what we're all hearing, we're in trouble. I mean, this is a guy who doesn't believe in the value of immigrants, and we're seeing firsthand and hearing accounts. If they try to re-implement this policy of zero tolerance, we're going to have to go full on with this administration, certainly when we pass appropriations bills. And the Department of Homeland Security, rather the Committee for Homeland Security, has to keep these oversight hearings coming. We were scheduled to have Secretary Nielsen come before our committee again on May 1st to talk about the budget. It looks like maybe we'll still see the new acting secretary come, and we'll have to ask those tough questions.
Are you concerned that the administration might try to do things illegally and or not actually be forthright about what they're doing?
Absolutely. We've certainly had the secretary lie to Congress. We've had officials lie to me when I go down to the border. And I've been at the border enough times to see what is happening and people being turned away at the ports of entry, even though we hear otherwise. Now, this weekend, we had CBP basically admit they were turning people away at the port of entry, talking about the list. They also, Border Patrol, told me that they were implementing the Remain in Mexico policy. It started the week before, and I got to speak to one of the guys who was the architect from D.C., was on the ground there. And so I was certainly glad to see a court today say, no, you're not going to do this. But no doubt, this is an administration who's doing whatever they can, not just a basic disregard for the law. And this is where the courts are so critical and where the oversight for Congress is critical. And we have to continue and not let up on this.
All right, Congresswoman Nanette Barragán from California, great to have you.